above makes sense. It follows that sport cannot be an activity in isolation. It is connected to health, to science, technology, engineering, media, governance, education, town planning, politics, diplomacy, culture, fashion, tourism, even music and dance, and so on and so forth. I live it, and in my experience, I see a place for sport in every aspect of my life, just as my friend Tunde Kilani, filmmaker and cinematographer, tells me how he also sees all of life through his camera lenses. So, I'm looking through my sports prism and observing Nigeria. What I see now excites me. The past 3 weeks throw some light. For cultural and religious reasons, we debar or limit the participation of our women in certain social and even political activities. Some of the excuses I heard, particularly in my growing up years in the north of Nigeria, are that those mostly physical activities, including sports, take away women's femininity, whatever that means. That the woman develops muscles and no longer looks beautiful. That her place is in the kitchen. That she loses ability to bear children. That she has to cultivate male behavior in order to succeed. Of course, there are also religious and cultural reasons that sounded nonsensical even to a kid like me. For over half a century since I left Jos and came to live in the more liberal part of Nigeria, where women have slightly more opportunities as a result of Western education and some local traditions that embrace women's limited participation in some social activities. I have found it shocking that we still continue to limit women's full participation in some areas and therefore limit their contribution to the advancement of home, society, and humanity. Whereas the evidence has always been before us that they can do as well, if not even better, than men in several fields. In sport, an area still considered a taboo for women in some parts of the country, unfortunately, the evidence is all around us also that given the opportunity of participation, even with little encouragement or support, the women have always attained standards and levels that the men struggle to attain. From Modupe Oshikoya to Ethel Jacks to Falila to Gunkoya, Mary Onyali, Chioma Ajunwa, Toby Amushan, to the women's national handball, football, and basketball teams in the past 3 decades. The records and statistics speak volumes. These are women that have attained the highest levels in sports in the world with little support and little encouragement. There are more of them in other fields. Now, beneath the clang of despair, economic hardship, and the threats of political cataclysm, in sport, I have started to hear some loud grunting. A giant is being slowly aroused from a long and deep sleep. For those that can set aside prejudices, sheath the swords of negativity, and clear their misty eyes, with the happenings of the past 3 weeks in Nigerian sports, I believe they would have started to see the faint outlines of something new enveloping the country, throwing up the issue of Nigerian women and what they can bring to the table of development of the country. I saw it in the dance steps of Nigerians as they wiggled their waists to the pulsating beats of some of the best and most followed dancehall music in the world today, Afrobeats. In the theaters of sports, Nigerian women's teams are demonstrating to the world the will to win, how to fight to the finish, the do or die and never give up spirit. All attitudes and characteristics that define the typical Nigerian: loud, aggressive, confident, proud, unafraid, assertive, resilient, and a winner in any endeavor. Twice in the past 3 weeks, Nigerian female athletes have put up performances that made the country to open up its treasury to reward them lavishly. In Rabat, Morocco, the Falcons, the national women's football team, rose from the brink of defeat to snatch victory away from the Lionesses of Morocco in a dramatic, suspenseful, and unforgettable match. The country had not fully recovered from the celebration of that magnificent team when the women's national basket team, the Tigress, inspired by the achievement of the Falcons and driven by the unprecedented rewards showered on their football counterparts, tore apart all opposition on their path to the Afro Basketball Championships in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. They retained their crown as African champions for the 5th time in a row. The victories by both national teams were not for the first time. They could easily have been considered routine and treated as the previous victories. 10 at 12 finals in football and all the last 5 in basketball without any fanfare, serious acknowledgement, or rewards. But coming at a time that they did, and in the manner that they came, became reminders of the place and importance of women in Nigerian sports and even beyond it. I am happy that the government saw beyond the Pyrrhic victories and set new standards of appreciating athletes and a new compass for success into the future. Rewarding Nigerians that succeed in their different fields of endeavor will never be taken for granted anymore. A benchmark has been set. It cannot suffer reversal anymore. Even more significant is that the women have become the most rewarded athletes in African sports history. That throws up a useful challenge for all girls as we enter a new era in Nigerian sport. A new carrot has been dangled before them. It is a tonic that will cure all previous ailments. All the prejudices of the past, all the stigmas, all the religious and cultural taboos have all been demystified and thrown into the dustbin of the past. New vistas are now open and possibilities born. I foresee an explosion of young girls setting off across the country with balls at their feet or in their hands, chasing the dream of success in football or basketball. I hope the infection will spread to other sports and other spheres of life, because given the space, the opportunity, and essential support, Nigerian women would do to the polity what men have been struggling to do since independence. If you look closely enough at Nigerian women, you will see, as I have through my sports lenses, that it is all in their genes, in their character, and in their stars to shine and to win. Nigerian girls will rule the world long before the men and champion the cause of Nigeria in an imagined new world order. Nigerians can also now neglect, limit, debar, or disregard their women in the polity at their own risk.
Hello, I'm Frank Edo, and I implore you to always listen to Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 because that is where you can fly high.
Welcome back. Well, that kept me thinking. This is 90 Minutes with Mathematical. Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM, reaching you from very cold Wasimi this morning. But I know it cannot be even a fraction as cold as it is where my first guest is. I call her Katie. She is one of the foremost physiotherapists in the world of African descent. She's a Nigerian, and she has worked severally in the past 2 decades for Nigeria, for the UK, and now she is further up in Canada. And she worked with the NOC, different national, continental, and international bodies, worked with the IOC, worked with FIFA, and so on and so forth. So it is my greatest pleasure to introduce my friend, Doctor, she's a doctor, PhD holder in physiotherapy, Kumultun Bakari. Good morning.
Good morning, Chief Odegbami. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for your invitation.
You are looking truly beautiful this morning, and young and fresh and everything. Don't worry, we will tell the boys.
Well, that's the beauty of being a physiotherapist. You just know what to do to keep yourself in shape, and yeah.
Very good, very good.
So you kind of age backwards.
Very good. And you know, closer home here, I have the female coach. She was former assistant coach of the Falcons, and now she presently coaches Remo Stars Ladies FA. She is doing extremely well, and we're proud of her for the work that they are doing. That's the foremost club in Nigeria today. I have the pleasure of welcoming Wemimo Matthew. Good morning, Wemimo.
Yeah, good morning, Chief. Yeah, thanks for having me in your program. I am so excited when you called me that you wanted me to show. And it's a pleasure being here.
Good. But we are not seeing you. You see, we are not seeing you. Your video is not on. It'd be good to see you.
It's on. Okay, let me check. I thought it's on.
Aha! Now it's on. Now we can see you. Now we can see the beautiful woman.
Okay.
Doing wonders. Doing wonders in Ikene. Well,
thank you so much.
The third for the show this morning will soon join us. She's working out, and I was shocked when we had my conversation this morning that she was actually still working out. And I was complaining to her that to just do the 15, 20 minutes of exercise every morning is a problem for me, even though I play my tennis. But I wish I could do what she was doing, go out to walk or to jog and so on and so forth. You'll be meeting her later in the show. The queen of African tracks, one of the most accomplished athletes in Nigeria's history. She will be joining us very soon. But before she does, Kultun, you listened to that editorial. Is it true, my assertion, that women will soon rule the world, even beyond sport?
Well, I think that I allude to your statement because women are already taking up spaces and showing that they have what it takes to make things happen. So be it in sports, as athletes, or be it in management, and working to develop the ecosystem, because the reality of the matter is the sports business has so many aspects of it, and having women succeed is important to have women who are there to support these women, knowing that they have similar lived experiences. And for women to be excelling now, whether in the continental stage or on the global stage, it has come a long way. Like, women being represented, we're not just making up the numbers, but we're actually adding value to that space, it has come a really long way. And I think that it's really, long overdue that women get the recognition they deserve, and we deserve in these spaces.
Well, recognition you have, but encouragement and support, I am aware, I've been in administration for so many years, and I know what's going on. I've managed my own female athletes. I managed the basketball female team for about 8 years, the most successful in Nigeria's history. So I know that women don't get, the level of encouragement that they should. But for the first time, Wemimo, for the first time, the country has not just honored women, rewarded them so lavishly that some people are even taking up arms against, the enormity of the size of the reward. What do you think? You are former assistant coach of the Falcons, and I know you would be feeling a bit down now that you were not in that team that will collect. Don't let me mention the sums because it is just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. So how do you feel about the quantum of reward, the honors, and everything around what just happened in the past 3 weeks?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. And first and foremost, I'll let you know that I am not feeling bad. There's no way. I'm so happy that this is happening to female in this country. You understand? So, but firstly, I would like to appreciate the president of the country for his kindness towards the Super Falcons and even the Tigers. This is the first time this kind of thing is happening here in Nigeria, even in Africa. And I think it's a way of encouraging the female or all athletes. Personally, I believe it will still go to me. Now it's like when you find yourself in the field, you give your best and you come out as the best and you get your reward. And it's going to go a long way in the life of the youth in Nigeria. So personally, I'm happy about it. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm not feeling anything negative concerning it because, this is just the beginning. And by the grace of God, it will go around.
Wow.
Thank you.
Kulthum,
Yes,
your own thoughts on that. But you see, having worked with women, I worked with women, as I told you, and their determination, their work ethics, particularly when it comes to sports, it is totally unbelievable. I was a sportsman myself. I knew how devoted and committed we were, how much we trained. But I can tell you and admit it is not even near as much as what I have seen of women. So, would this create the explosion that I think it would? Would it erase the stigmas and the taboos where we have national teams in sports and you don't find anybody from a part of the country because of, taboos and, all these things about women not being encouraged to go into sports? But would this change that narrative now with this kind of stupendous reward?
Well, I think there are two sides to the situation. I mean, I'm excited that the team got the reward and recognition, which often is not the case with women's teams. Also, what I would like to see, apart from the rewards, is a intentional developmental program to help women's sport, considering Nigeria is maybe estimated to be around 250 million Nigerians in Nigeria. Now we talk about Nigerians in diaspora. Maybe that's another maybe 30 to 40 million estimated. But there is so much potential in Nigeria. With the teams right now, for us to move to the next level, that means we need to go beyond the continent. We need to show the world what we can do. And you have to painstakingly prepare to get that done. So investment in that developmental process, making sure things are done right in a timely manner, teams are in camp, they are gelling together when they are in international tournaments. I mean, I've been inside these teams as well. I mean, there have been things that, sometimes you wonder that if we are not ready to participate, maybe we should not be here, knowing that we are like just using fire brigade approach multiple times on the international stage, but things could be done better. So I'm excited that this recognition and the monetary aspects and rewards, yeah, but we need a lasting legacy to show that we are interested in developing and being intentional about talent ID, growth, and getting our women on that high performance pathway to get them en route to the podium, whichever sport they choose to participate in. That is what I would like to see happening. So it is great. This can motivate younger uh, girls, females who want to be interested in football, but are interested in any sport of their choice. But where is that enabling environment? We need to create that for young girls and women who are keen to engage in sport. I mean, there are a lot of myths that have been busted. There have been myth busters over the years, and we can see that many of these things that were perspectives that were held in the past are no longer there anymore. So it is important as a society that we are intentional about developing women's sports, on the bigger scale, rather than these women, as you mentioned earlier, the determination. I feel the determination is driven by the fact that nobody is giving you a chance in the first place. So you have to work twice or three times as hard to prove the naysayers wrong. And that is their key motivation in getting the job done. That's what I have observed over the years working with women's teams in Nigeria. And I think if they have all the necessary resources to support the process, it makes that journey a lot easier and they can go further beyond the continent and on the global stage.
How difficult is it, to get girls to come into your camps, into clubs, and so on? Because we are organizing a summer championship here in Wasini at the present time, and you will find that over 3,000, footballers are here. But of that number, the girls are so few. I thought that the whole place would be filled up with girls, So how do you get girls to come to your camp? I know it must be very difficult. Female football, for example, is not so well organized, and, where is your incubation area for all these girls coming into sports?
Well, thank you so much. Getting girls to come into football, into sport, or let me just say football, my own field, is very, very difficult. Because, firstly, the game of football, the parents believe that it belongs to me, that it's only male that play football. So they don't, just like me, when I was young, my mom never wanted me to play, but I got the, encouragement from my dad that, okay, you can do it. He bought me a ball and I started playing. Sometimes you see me in the midst of boys, I'll be the only female there. Like you highly said, that the physique, you understand, the embarrassment sometimes. Like my mom said, she said, the people that have complete legs, the ladies that have complete legs does not even have. It was not easy for them to get husband, not for someone that have one and a half legs. That I should not play ball, But it's not easy. A lot of coaches go to the extent of going to meet the parents at home. Like me, I always talk to the parents of my girls. Don't worry, your child is in safe hand. A lot of stress before you can be able to get female footballers. Now, the coaches that are into the academy, kudos to them because they are doing a lot of job. Now, me, I'm training a premier. I'll feed them out from the academy or just invite them for another club. But what are those people that are even discovering them from their home, from their street? A lot of people will go to the extent of rating undertaking to take player away from their parents. But thank God, with what is happening now, with all this reward and everything, I think with the encouragement, I believe parents will be able to release their children, mostly the female, to come and play football or into sport generally.
Do you have to be a boy, behave like a boy, to play in sport? Do you have to do like, because some girls actually now believe that they should walk like boys, pose like boys, do things like boys, otherwise you will not find space in sports? I think you are more in that field, but although Kultum also must have seen some of those things. Isn't that part of the challenges we have? You see these girls, they dress like boys, they walk like boys, they talk like boys, and so they sustain that myth or stigma or whatever it is. Wemimo, let's start with you.
Yes, what is it that game of sport naturally is physical. I believe it's the training aspect. You understand? Since they believe that the game is for boys, some of them might feel that maybe I need to, behave, work like a man before I can be able to fit in. But I don't believe it. You can see a lot of girls now play. I can use this girl as an example. One of the Falcon player, Michelle. She looked like a beautiful girl, and she's playing good football. Look at Esther Okorogo. So, but the mentality is that you to play football or to do anything like sport, you must put on trousers. You must walk. You must be very smart, and you must feel. This physique is very, very important to them. So I believe that is just the only way, and that is one of the reasons why parents are even deny their female children from going into sport.
What is happening abroad with all your experiences, Katie? What's happening? How are they, harvesting women in sports in the different parts that you have worked in?
So I think that they first of all start with bridging the knowledge gaps. We talked about parents being reluctant, right? And many times parents are reluctant because they are not assured of the safety of their ward. They are not convinced that they are going to be safeguarded. Out here, any coach, any handler, anybody working with any child must go through safeguarding training, certification, and all of that, and provide all the necessary things, education that parents, who are the ones that are the custodians of these children, are the guardians, provide them information. You're not just going to take away someone's child and say, don't worry, I'll take care. What are you going to be doing? The patients and the parents need to be educated, right? They need to be carried along. So the idea of parents having the anxiety about their words and all of those things, once you're able to bridge the knowledge gaps and get them involved, it eases their fears. Here, they go to schools and do intentional talent ID programs, which is heavily invested in, by the government, by either provincial government, even federal government. I don't know. I can't say the same for Nigeria because, again, many of the academies available in Nigeria, they are probably privately owned. Government does not support these academies. And it will be useful if government provides certain resources or subsidies that can help so that they could be able to do more programs in going out into the communities, do different showcases to get kids to come on, provide kits for them, educate parents, create information sessions that will constantly be providing the necessary knowledge that they need so that they are not in the dark as to what is going to happen to their ward. Now, about the girls trying to be or acting like males or tomboys, the reality of the matter is that many people put up the front of that demeanor just because they don't want to come across as vulnerable, and that kind of keeps people away from them. It's like a mechanism to just protect yourself, as it were. But again, I'll talk about physiotherapy. As a sports physiotherapist, you're not going to find me wearing a skirt. It's just not practical. You're running on the pitch, you're doing training sessions, you're doing stretches, and you're on the mat with the athlete when you're doing the rehab. It's just not practical. So you have to look at what is practical. What really makes you a woman or a female? Is it your dress code, or is it the fact that you have feminine features, or it's perception? Actually, it's all based on perception. So at the end of the day, I feel the important thing for us is to continue to upskill and bridge those knowledge gaps so that parents are more comfortable in ensuring that, okay, if we send our ward here, they will be taken care of, they'll be safeguarded, and they're in the best hands to help them channel the skills that they may have to move to the next level.
Well, schools are really the production room for all athletes, the schools. And in the US, there are more females playing football than there are male, particularly at the schools level. There are more girls in football than even the boys. And little wonder they are the best football playing country in the world when it comes to females.
Or the women's football.
Yeah. So, but if you go to our own schools here, particularly tertiary institutions, you will hardly find any woman. In your experiences, Wemimo, in the tertiary institutions, in the colleges of technology, in the universities, polytechnic, you hardly find women doing sports at all. It is more in the secondary schools and all these things you are talking about, parents encouraging. That's where parents can even do anything. But beyond that, it appears the women themselves, there's something that separates them from, going into sports. What are your own experiences? Schools and sports now. Let's start with.
To me, the reason why we are not having much female into sports in the tertiary institution, I believe, this game of football is a talent. If you want to be realistic, you will know that when we talk about this talent, the male, they have the talent more than the female. So, putting interest in football or in sport while in school, a lot of female, a lot of students, they believe they cannot cope with, playing and studying. So they would rather face their study first than facing the sport. And if you look at them, because I've been opportune to be in a school whereby, a university whereby I saw girls playing. If you look at them, out of like about 15 players on the field of play, you can only see just like one or two that really know how to play the football. So I believe we have more talent in male than female. That's why we are not seeing much like that. But when you talk about the secondary school, the secondary is whereby maybe the schoolmaster want to encourage. That is where a lot of students will come in and you just play, and they just play kick and follow. They are just being excited to play football. But as time goes on, you know that if the child has talent or not. But basically, the talent of playing football, it's more in the male aspect than the female aspect. That is just my own understanding. That is why we are not having much female play in the university or college like that.
But despite that, our women are doing better. We have gone to several Olympics. We've gone to the World Cup. We are winning in Africa. And you are painting this other picture of not being talented and enough and in the large numbers.
Not really. What is really happening is that those ones that have been talented, that have been gifted, football, like a game of football. Football is a talent on its own. Even as a man, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You don't know, you don't have it. So what is it that those that were opportune to have that are gifted to have this talent, they are using it extraordinary. They are giving out their best. We have few, just like we are saying now. Women, they have been bringing glory to the country all this while, and we have few of them participating in this sport. So that is female for you. Any field they find themselves, they will always bring out their best.
Katie, what do you think?
Okay, let me add to that. Well, first of all, I feel like we need to start things young. We don't do that in Nigeria, but we expect people to just have talent. If you have talent and you're not guided, you won't get anywhere. You will not improve. Yes, there is talent, but you have the gift of certain things, but talent needs to be identified young and be guided and be poured into by the technical people, by the medical people, by the people who will surround that athlete to give them the guidance that they need to upskill their craft. Not everybody is going to be Martha of Brazil or Rampino of USA, but the reality of the matter is that there are so many athletes, there are so many footballers now that started very, very young. And it is so important, if you're getting into sport, to get in very, very young. On the issue of balancing academics and sport, during my time when I was at school, right, there was nothing. I feel like even now, I think the academy in Wasimi is the only one that gives you room to be able to balance your academics with sports. Most garden variety universities and high schools, they make you choose. They don't give that room for you to be able to balance both. So at the end of the day, during my time, I did some sports while I was in school, but because I was in medical school, the demands of medical school, and then my parents were like, no, we sent you to school to go and be doing this. So I had to drop competitive sports, as it were. So I kind of just stayed within interfaculty and things like that. But I could have gone for NUGA to represent my university and all of that. But I never had the opportunity because at that time, it wasn't the option of you being able to do the two was not popular. It's not commonplace. So maybe if we have that opportunity and schools can understand that there is a way, you can always find a way to strike that balance, right? Now, then they need to work it out of how this can work best. Personally, I believe starting very early helps you to develop in whatever, as a player in any sport, whether athletic, anything you want to do. You need to start early, and you need to have the right team that guides you as you on your trajectory that can make you better. So personally, I feel like as much as we don't have enough women participating in sport, but we can do better in doing those, identifying them young, giving them opportunities to come and learn about sports, participate in sport, and then you can identify those who have the potential and nurture that potential for them to get to the high performance level.
Fantastic. We'll be going on a short break. This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. But before we do, something just struck me. Katie, because of your background, does sport affect the fertility of women? That issue, does it affect them in any form or shape? After that, your answer will be going on a short break. And when we come back, we hope that the Queen would have joined us. Does it affect fertility?
There is no scientific evidence that says that it affects fertility. There's no scientific evidence that links participation of sports and fertility, that it adversely affects fertility. However, fertility is an issue that works across both genders. And because of the makeup of the woman, so the older you get, the lower your chances in terms of your fertility, it drops because there's something called a biological clock. But outside of that, sports does not interfere with your fertility in any shape or form.
I hope Nigerian ladies, you are hearing, in fact, it makes you more beautiful. When I see an athletic lady, the muscles are taut, well toned, and
Toned up, yeah.
yes, no fat, no nothing. They are the most beautiful creatures on the surface of the earth. Anyway, we'll be going on this break. This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 90 minutes with mathematical, and we are having a conversation with the women this morning because they are preparing to rule the world. After the break.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
tell me more.
Hello, what station are you listening to right now?
What?
This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. The best sports, the best station.
Yeah! Crank up the radio!
The best for you.
It is here now, the 8th edition of Wasimi Summer Soccer Championship 2025. The making of champions from July 25 to August 10, 2025. A festival of football, education, health, entertainment, and plenty of fun. Over 3,000 boys and girls from over 150 football clubs and academies around Nigeria across 6 age group categories assembled for a feast of football that shall be streamed and broadcast live with a seminars for coaches, scholarship opportunities for outstanding players, health tips for all participants and the Wasimi community, and endless entertainment every evening. The Nigerian Heart Foundation shall organize a program on heart-related diseases for the youth as a prelude to a global campaign on the 25th World Heart Day celebration coming up in September 2025. The Wasimi Summer Soccer Championship 2025 is organized by Unique Heights Sports Management in collaboration with the Shegun Degbam International College and Sports Academy, Soka, Mainframe Film Productions, Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM, Nigerian Heart Foundation, Hallmark Hotel and Suites, and Eagle 7 Bamboo Gardens. Call Dennis 0803-490-1541 or Maxwell 0806-476-4674 to be a partner, to brand, sponsor, advertise, or for any inquiries in any aspect of this exciting event. The 2025 Wasimi Summer Soccer Championship is more than a sporting event. From July 25 to August 10, 2025 in Wasimi, a Wekoro local government area of Ogun State, Nigeria. Come have fun and make a difference in the lives of Nigerian youth.
Seven FM. They could not listen to Ramo.
Welcome back. This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. 103.7 FM coming to you from Wasimi, Ogun State. I hope you're having a great time. My guests are here. I have contacted Mary. We're having problems with the Wi-Fi of where she is, so she's still trying to reconnect. But meanwhile, we're having a great conversation here with Katie, my beautiful good friend Kultum Bakari, and Wemimo. Both of them have done. Okay, you are back. You're back. Okay, so that's fine. Remember the telephone numbers 0700 2255 1037 and 081 2782 8497. You can join us from any time from now. You can just make your call and be part of the conversation. Katie, I am aware of this. I am one of very few people in Nigeria. I have discovered, one of very few people in Nigeria I've discovered that appreciates the vastness of the business of sports generally, the vastness of the business of sports, the scope of it, the planet of it, the things you can do in sports, particularly women that are not so involved. Can you just help us just a little? Let people, you have been everywhere. You've worked for FIFA, IUC, you've monopolized everything, just as I have monopolized, I know, so many things. Even as a man in this field of sports, I find that people just don't know how vast this thing is. Please start to tell our women now the vastness of it. And then Wemimo will tell us how easy it is to succeed as a woman. Particularly in sports, the competition is not so many, not many of you are participating, and Okay, over to you, Katie. Tell us in your experience.
So, again, I think it's my curiosity and my passion that have led me to the places where I've had the opportunity to have conversations on the global stage about what is happening and how things can get better, especially for low-in resource settings like that is, prevailing on my continent. However, the ecosystem of sports and the business of sports is so wide. There's so many stakeholders that come together to make things happen. And I will speak specifically on my own area of expertise when it comes to medicine. Sports medicine. Now, sports medicine and the sports medicine team are a group of medical experts that are there to help optimize the athlete's health. So from injury prevention to optimizing performance to ensure that the athlete does not get contaminated by any anti-doping related violations. They have the knowledge. They know how to avoid the things that are on the prohibited list or the banned list, that the athlete's responsibility towards themselves. And all of this medical professionals, from physiotherapists to physicians to specialists. So in women's sports, there are specialists that are focused on women's health, specific specialists focused on women's health, just because, women have the biological makeup and the biomechanical makeup of women also predisposes women to a higher risk of injuries. And we are mitigating this. Research is ongoing to continue to mitigate the high risk that is associated. There's no sport that is completely injury-free. There is some risk of injury, but there are extrinsic and intrinsic factors that you can modify to minimize the risk. You can't completely eliminate the risk. So you have nurses, lab scientists, pharmacists, and all of these people coming together to support the athlete as they continue their journey. I think you can speak more on the marketing and comm side of the sports business, but it's so huge. It is really so huge. And everybody has a role to play in ensuring that the right message gets out there, education and information is not lost in translation. All the stakeholders and even the general public can be well aware and be empowered to have the necessary information so they can make informed decisions. So it is such a big, there's such a big scope of everything that goes into sports across the spectrum, from amateur to semi-professional to professional levels. I think I'm just going to stop.
Yeah. That's an incredible contribution. Incredible, because if
Coach Rabimo can talk about the technical aspect of,
because you have spoken about the sports medicine, side of it, and that on its own is a whole planet. If we go into the education side of it, we will spend the whole day here. If we go into the architecture of it, I'm talking architecture now of sports. The stadia, the construction, the this and that. That's another. If you go into the media, it's a
different ballgame.
It's a different ballgame. And yet, for women to succeed in sport is easier. Wemimo, is that true? Tell us, let Nigerian mothers and fathers now hear. For women to succeed in sports is easier, because we have said it this morning.
Yes.
There's no encouragement. Not many of them participate. Yes. So paint that world for us of that possibility, and technically, what are the opportunities that lie there?
Well, I'll be talking in my own area, that technical aspect.
Yes.
As in coaching aspect. It is very easy for females to excel in sport. All we need is encouragement. The adequate encouragement is not there. And when we talk about female being succeed in a female aspect, to me, I know female to female stuff is good, but I'm looking beyond that. Just like, for example, now in Nigeria now, at least we have women's team. I think the Premier side is about 16. We were 16 last season. We have the male team, which is 20. The NLL about 30, more than 30. The NLO more than 50. Please, I want to know how many female coaches are attached to this team.
Wow.
In this country, presently, we have, I can be bold, we have more than 100 female qualified coaches. So the encouragement is not there. Not to stop women coaches working with the male team. Kudos to Shooting Star of recent. They appointed a female coach as their strength and conditioning coach, Coach Grace. We need more of that. Look at what Rema is doing is doing it with the basketball. Tell me, if she's been given opportunity to handle the male, you will still get the same result. What the women need is encouragement. Give them platform. Let them try. Feed them. Even among the female teams in the country, as a coach, you can only see one or two that are that are having female as a head coach. Everywhere is male. To me, my dream is to see female handling Premier League in this country, the male one as a head coach, handling, being attached as an assistant. Let's spread, let's encourage them. You will see more in them. I'm telling you, it is more easier to achieve a lot from female than the male. We just need little encouragement. If you can get like 40% of the encouragement the female are getting, female will excel more than what you are talking about. And let me tell you, when we talk about the World Cup, now presently the under 20, which is the Falconet, they are having a very significant record in this country. And even in the Africa, they are the only team that have ever won silver medal in the World Cup, not once, twice, which is a good record. That is the female aspect. You understand? So female need a lot of encouragement. Female need they need to equip them. They need to support them in acquiring a lot of knowledge in terms of leadership and development. We need to promote them. So that is what I will say. We need a lot of encouragement. Let's try them. Let them try. Let them make mistakes. They can learn through mistakes. But when you are sidelining them, how would they be able to excel? A lot of female coaches are out there that when you give them a chance, they will be able to, exhibit the talent that is in them. So all we need is to encourage. We need a lot of encouragement. We need a lot of opportunities. Let them give us opportunity, the resources and everything. And you see the best out of the female in this country.
Once again, this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 90 minutes with mathematical. I want to let out a secret, and I want Katie to support me here. That
okay.
That if you truly have the sports attitude, the attitude to succeed in sports, you get what I'm saying? If you want to succeed in sports, there's an attitude to it. There's a process. There are certain things you have to do, you have to be. You have to be committed, disciplined, dedicated, focused, and all of that. You make sacrifices and all of that. And then you can do anything. Anything. I didn't train for sports. I'm just using myself as an example. I didn't train for the sports business. The only thing I did was play football. And after that, it was finished. But you see, with the experiences that I garnered in sports, I have ventured into, I don't know how many things. I just go out there and I just do them. So it is a secret that if you can use the attitudes and the values and the experiences in sport, you can be anything. You can do anything. So how can we do this transition? Because I'm interested in politics. We want to change Nigeria. And I see that women would have a great role to play. And if women can only cultivate, some of those attitudes and values that are inherent in sport, they will take over this country. Your views, Katie?
Okay, I will just talk about my own personal experiences. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, I stayed very curious and I stayed very proactive. There are times where there are certain things that you just have to go after yourself. Like, you don't have to wait for somebody it's easier if somebody opens the door for you or, allows you to have an opportunity to get you to where you need to be. But sometimes, as you said, you have to stay resilient. You have to be motivated. You have to be committed. You have to stay consistent. All of these things that Chief had mentioned about, it would help continue to drive you. So even when those opportunities now present themselves, I know that our society is still very skeptical about, what can this, female offer, despite the fact that you have so much competency that they can see, right? But sometimes they will rather not put you in that position. Meanwhile, you have everything to do the job, So I feel like there's a lot of reorientation that is needed that can let the system allow women to do these roles, to fit into the roles that are there for them to fit into, like they merit. So it's not that you are just saying meet up the quota because you're a woman. No. So I think that our reorientation and the way the society needs to begin to understand and accept that women can fill in these roles across the ecosystem of sports that we're talking about, be it administration, be it is in comms, be it in sports medicine. They're not, but the opportunity to have more people join that pool of talent is there, and we really need to be very intentional about it. So yes, the person needs to stay motivated, committed, consistent, but also there has to be that enabling environment to make them thrive.
Wemimo, tell me about the work that you're doing in Ikene, because Kunle Shoname is on a revolutionary path for football development in Nigeria, and you are a very important part of that project. So what are you doing in Ikene, so that the ladies out there, who would be interested to know, and if that's another channel, tell me a little of your work in Ikene.
Yes, the Remo Stars.
Okay, we have just.
No.
Okay, go on.
Looks like the network.
Yeah, go on. Okay, I think it's the network, it's the Wi-Fi. But okay, the same question to you, Kultum. Tell us the nature of your work in. Is it Alberta now, or where in the world are you?
So, currently I'm in Alberta, but I'm based out of New Brunswick, which is in the East Coast. But I work with
East Coast of where?
Canada. East Coast of Canada, New Brunswick. So Alberta is like in the Pacific region area, very close to BC. Yeah. Okay, looks like she's back.
No, go on.
So my role is essentially to. Okay,
Wemimo, you are back.
Yes.
Okay, let's allow Katie to. Okay. Let's allow Katie to just tell. I'm interested in this Alberta, Canada thing. This woman has been all over the world doing sports. Katie has been all over the world doing sports.
Aspect of.
Okay. Go on.
There's a technical aspect of para sports called classification, and my role is to help bridge the gaps that is in Canada, to help support the sporting federations to have the best prepared teams, to be more knowledgeable about classification, to support the process and help liaise with IPC, as well as the regional Americas Paralympic Committee, and represent Canada in helping present the best prepared teams for Paralympic Games, Pan Am Games, Commonwealth Games, the big games, essentially, both winter and summer games. So that's essentially my role.
So you are giving to Canada what we should be making use of here in Nigeria.
I gave it to Nigeria for several decades, but I don't know if it was valued in the same way. But again, I don't know. But yeah, it is important. And remember, Chief, that our Paralympians are always the one putting us on the medal table.
Yeah.
So that one I can tell you for free. And I still work closely with them anyway. I will always be Nigerian first.
Fantastic. So Wemimo, back to you. I hope we can hear you clearly now.
Okay. Yeah, Remo Stars Lady, it's a new team. Just about last 2 years, when the CAF, make it compulsory for all the male team to have female team. I think that was when our chairman bought the slot, and I was the first person to be called upon to come and handle the team. I believe it's what he heard about me, and he believes in me that I can at least do my best. So coming here, it was a tough job for me to do, because it was a new team, and I had to, recruit players from different clubs, different academies. I think the first year I was able to get a player from like about 25 teams. I brought them together, and we started training. And at the end of the day, we were able to perform very well, to the extent that the whole world saw that, yes, this is a new team that is coming. We missed our Super 6 that particular year narrowly. And last season, we were able to prove to the world that, yes, we can do it. And we qualified for the Super 6, a new team. The noise was everywhere. But I want to tell you, the hard work of the players and the official and the support of the management, most especially the chairman, is a loving person. Is a man. I call him a blessing to our generation. You know, the encouragement, the impact, the motivation that he gave to the team helped us to get to that extent. And even after the Super Six, despite that we did not even win this the league, you know, he rewarded the girls. He encouraged them, made them to know that yes, what you have done, I really appreciate, and that is it. And by the grace of God, we are taking the club to higher level, and I believe this new season we are still going to perform better. And for your information, we're able to get the highest goal scorer of the league. It's a player that has 15 goals, and that is the first time. I think she's the first player since the end of the league that have gotten that kind of goal in a season. So it's a very good record, and I'm so proud to be the coach of Remo Stars ladies.
Fantastic, good PR work for Remo Stars there. So Katie, I will start to wind down now. Okay, we have succeeded in Africa now in basketball and in football. And of course, we are always there in track and field and so on and so forth. From what you have seen now, how close are we to going beyond Africa and winning either the World Cup or in football or in basketball? Because we are just in that periphery.
I think we're close, really. I think we're close because I was part of the team, the Tigers team that started this 5 trophy winning cycle from 2017. And after 2017, we were at the World Cup in 2018, and we had the best finish of any African team, male or female. We got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, and we were only edged out by USA, who are the owners of basketball, essentially. But things would have been different, maybe if we had other ways to prepare and all of that. But fast forward, Nigeria was withdrawn famously from the following World Cup that was supposed to take place in Australia due to, I'm sure you know the story, I won't go into it, but I feel like if we have the team, probably preparing, having proper preparatory camps, team is motivated and all of that, we will go beyond where we've gotten to so far on the world stage. For the Falcons, they're the only team from Africa who has qualified for every single World Cup they've done since the inception of the Women's World Cup. So, and I know that there's new talent coming into the team. All we need right now is to ensure that our team properly prepares, right? I'll give you the example again of the Women's World Cup, of FIBA Women's World Cup in 2018. USA, everybody knows they are the basketball gurus. But the USA team, they were in camp for 12 weeks ahead of that tournament. So you can see the difference. And while we're in the tournament, they have an extended backroom staff in medical, in every aspect to support the team. And we had only 2 kits that we had to be washing overnight, to wear the next day. So it's a completely different scenario. It's just a completely different scenario. We can do better. We know we can. We need to appropriate the necessary resources and funding to support the team, and in a timely manner. And that way, you won't have people who are disgruntled, you won't have players who are not happy and all of that. And they put their mind and soul into what needs to be done. So I believe we're close. We just need that structural change, those structural changes that can be intentional towards pulling into development and optimizing this potential that will get us beyond where we are right now.
How close are we to winning the World Cup, Wemimo? To winning the World Cup or the Olympics? The women, Falcons.
Yes.
How close are we, in your estimation as a coach? How close are we to winning either the World Cup or the Olympic Games in football?
Yes, we are very close, just like what Isil said. We are very, very close because if you look at it, Super Falcons has been the only team qualifying for the World Cup since the beginning of the World Cup. All we need is we need early preparation. That is, we need early preparation.
How?
And we need
What kind of preparation? What do you mean early preparation? What?
Yes, early preparation is in terms of, you know.
All the girls are playing abroad. All the girls are playing abroad in their different clubs and so on and so forth.
Sure, many of them they are playing abroad, and we still have more here. Like the preparation, the adequate preparation we need, I think, like spending enough time in camp. We always have windows whereby we can bring these girls together and train them. Because without preparation, there's no way you can get there. We need the motivation they've just gotten now. With this, I bet you very soon we'll win World Cup, because now they believe when you give out your best, when you do your job well, there's a reward behind it. And in the aspect of the organization, they also need a lot of backroom staffs to add to the team. A lot of field whereby, like the physiotherapists, the psychologists, name it, all of them. We need a lot of them to have the nutritionists. So all these things can be of help in order for us to get there. Those the country that have been winning the World Cup, we know what they have been doing. Like she just said, a team was in the World Cup stage with a lot of staff that can be of help. So all those areas we need to work on it in our country if we really want to win the World Cup. The early preparation, the adequate preparation, the resources, the facilities. We just need to make sure you put everything together that can help the ladies.
Well, finally, I believe that we are on the verge of our greatest achievement as a country, generally in all spheres, but through sports, we shall see the possibilities more. I believe that very, very much. And I believe also that, we are going to win either the World Cup or whatever. So let me put both of you in a spot. You are Mr. President. Katie, you are Mr. You are Mr. President now, today in Nigeria. Yes. You have done what you have done because you want to motivate people to even become better and to achieve the ultimate. Specifically, what would you do? One. And two, what reward would you give the Falconers when they win the World Cup? Haven't done this one that has never, ever been done before. And you see the reactions. This is not a serious question, no. It's not a serious question. So feel free.
So honestly, I think as a president, I'll go back to the proverbial drawing board, put together a working group to really work the think tanks. We have those Nigerians, and we have females there too, who can bring great ideas that we can then they collaborate on how we can have these things prepare better. If the government has money in the treasury to give out as gifts, then you can also put some of that money into the developmental process, into the planning process, into the infrastructure, facility, and all of the things that we've been talking about to help us move from that point where we are. Everybody knows that Nigeria has won, the Women's African Cup of Nations, 10 finals, 10 trophies, right? So it's like, okay, what else? Like, we know that Nigeria is there. So what else can they show to us? How can we move ourselves from that point and to the global stage to be reckoned with as one of the, strong forces on that global stage? We need to bridge that gap. And I think that we have everything we need, including human resources, financial resources, and all of these things to bridge these gaps. And that's what I would prioritize as Mr. President. When the team wins the World Cup, well, when the team wins World Cup, by the power vested in me, I definitely will make sure that there is, there's definitely going to be a civic holiday for that. They are going to do a trophy parade. They'll close down the big avenues in Abuja, have their fans come celebrate with them. So apart from hosting a state dinner or any of those things, would also look into what else can be beyond ON. I don't know what is there that can be beyond that. And just keep the promises that have been made. Be true to those promises that have been made. Yes, and I think that's what I'll do. But at that point in time, let's start. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But definitely, they will be handsomely rewarded.
Wemimo, the final words from you. You are Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Yes. Okay. If I'm to be in position of the president of the Nigeria.
You are the president. You are the president.
I am now.
Right now.
Okay, I am now.
Yes.
And Falconet won
the World Cup. Or whatever.
World Cup. Yeah. Well, I've done one, and there's nothing to stop me from doing more and more. But what I will do is that, the celebration is going to be global. Just like my partner said that the parade will be there, I will make sure that the people involved, for the rest of their lives, the country will be, in support of them, like honoring them in so many ways. It will go beyond giving them apartment. It will go beyond, even when giving them the money has to be more than that. Winning World Cup is one thing that I can't even explain for now, because a lot of gift. And I will mandate all the governors in all the states to make sure they've been blessed. The participants been blessed by them, and even including the companies in the country, the oil companies, the what is it called, the banks. They have to be involved be a blessing to those children, whosoever that is been lucky to be in that. Just like these people, they were lucky. Yeah, they have been favored. It has been destined for them, and that's why I say I'm happy about it. And that is just the beginning. And it will have a long way to go in the life of the youth, even the youth in the streets. Now, many of them will come into the sport. And by the grace of God, when we win the World Cup, in short, we'll cross it. When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Oh boy,
it's going to be a glamour situation by the grace of God.
Yeah, amen. If okay, I am Mr. President. I'm directing that all of you people that won the $100,000, just give me 10%, so that I can. If I get the 10%, I can guarantee you that I'm going to produce in how many years? 2-3 years, the team that will win the World Cup for us. In what sport now? Okay, but yeah, that's it. We want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for taking that unprecedented, giant step and doing what has never been done before, at least to that magnitude, in recognition of our great sports ambassadors in basketball and in football. Yes, things are hard, people are complaining, other sectors are complaining, but I believe that the president has rewarded hard work, has rewarded sacrifice, discipline, commitment, and, is creating a new generation of people who would look forward to their country doing things for them if they do things for their country. So on that note, I want to thank Wemimo from all the way from Ikene, Remo Stars Ladies Football Club. Help me salute your chairman. Thank you for coming on the show, and I wish you the very best of luck this season. And my
Thank you so
sister
much.
and my friend, Katie, all the way from Alberta in Canada, for joining me this morning. We are very, very proud of you and the work that you're doing. We are missing you. We are missing you in Nigeria, I tell you. And I hope that one day, when things settle down, you're one of those that will come back and come and help us set Nigerian sports on the path to becoming the very, very, very best in the world. That's where I believe we belong, and that's where we are going. We have just taken off now. We have truly just taken off in sports now. On that note, I thank you all for listening to us this morning. Unfortunately, Mary Onyali or Magbemi could not join us. Wi-Fi problems. I don't know where she is. I think she's in Abuja. But we just could not connect. We were connecting on phone, but not on Wi-Fi, so she couldn't join the program. But you get another opportunity to meet with her. We are very proud of the work that she is doing as well. So on that note, join us again next week, Saturday, when we bring you another package from us here in Wasimi. Bye-bye.
It is here now. The 8th edition of Wasimi Summer Soccer Championship 2025. The making of champions from July 25 to August 10, 2025. A festival of football, education, health, entertainment, and plenty of fun. Over 3,000 boys and girls from over 150 football clubs and academies around Nigeria across 6 age group categories assembled for a feast of football that shall be streamed and broadcast live with a seminars for coaches, scholarship opportunities for outstanding players, health tips for all participants and the Wasimi community, and endless entertainment every evening. The Nigerian Heart Foundation shall organize a program on heart-related diseases for the youth as a prelude to a global campaign on the 25th World Heart Day celebration coming up in September 2025. The Wasimi Summer Soccer Championship 2025 is organized by Unique Heights Sports Management in collaboration with the Shegun Degbam International College and Sports Academy, Soka, Mainframe Film Productions, Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM, Nigerian Heart Foundation, Hallmark Hotel and Suites, and Eagle 7 Bamboo Gardens. Call Dennis 0803 490-1541 or Maxwell 0806-476-4674 to be a partner, to brand, sponsor, advertise, or for any inquiries in any aspect of this exciting event. The 2025 Wasimi Summer Sporting event from July 25 to August 10, 2025 in Wasimi, a local government area of Ogun State.